Solving systems by elimination, day 2. The thing to remember from previously, we are looking for 0 pairs. 0 pairs. So if you notice, we have a 0 pair on number 1 between these two, the y terms. So we are going to add these two equations together. And this is 3 plus 6. We have 9x. 0 pair equals 15 plus 12 is 27. Solving for x, we'll divide by 9. And x equals 3. That's great. Not our answer, but it's great. Okay, we have an ordered pair, x comma y, so that's 3 comma. Now I'm going to go back to the first equation in this setup. 3x, that's what I'm going to put right there, plus 3y equals 15. If I take that x value I just found, 3, and replace it here, I'm going to solve this, and that is 9 plus 3y equals 15, subtracting 9 from both sides. We get 3y equals 6, and dividing by 3, y equals 2. Therefore, our answer is 3 comma 2. Once you find that 0 pair, it's just about downhill. That's our big goal, find 0 pairs. All right, number 2. I've made such a big deal about 0 pairs that you should notice there isn't one here. So what we have to do is look for the best way to get a 0 pair. All right, so on this one right here, it looks like the best thing to do might be to multiply this top equation by 7. Because that would give me, let's see here, that would give me a 35x plus 7y equals 63, multiplying the 7 times every term there. And 10x minus 7y equals negative 18. That one's not changing. Now, if you notice, we have 7y, positive 7y, and negative 7y. That is a 0 pair, so now we can add. That would give us 45x equals 63 minus plus a negative 18. 63, that is 45. Therefore, we can solve for x. X equals 1. Now we're going to replace that x equals to 1 into this original equation right here. 5x plus y equals 9. Let me draw a line there. Plugging in a 1 right there, that's 5. 5 plus y equals 9. And subtracting 5, y equals 4. So our answer is 1 comma 4. And it's a good idea to check those. Go plug them into both equations. They both ought to be true. All right, that's all there is to this. That's about as hard as it gets right here. It's about as hard as it gets. Making the 0 pair. So number 3, I don't see a 0 pair, and nothing is really occurring to me to be a good way to get that. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make a good practice of this, I'm going to multiply both equations by something. The first one I'm going to multiply by 3. Okay, because that'll give me a 24x. Okay, now on the bottom I'm going to multiply by 8. Notice I'm just switching the numbers. 3 times 8 is 24x. 8 times negative 3x is negative 24x. That's going to be my 0 pair that I'm after. So let's continue. 3 times y, so plus 3y equals negative 48 if we multiply by the 3 there. And on the bottom, 8 times y, we'll have a plus 8y. And 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. All right, now we can add these two together. We have a 0 pair. So we are going to get 11y, adding these two together, equals negative 88. Dividing by 11, we get that y equals negative 8. Halfway there. our ordered pair, something, comma, -8. All right, now I'm going to go back to my original equations. I'm actually not going to use these anymore. I use those to find y. I'm going to use these equations over here. So 8x plus y, that's -8, equals -16. Okay, so that would be 8x minus 8, so I'm going to add 8. Adding 8, that is a -8. And that's 8x. We have a zero pair right there. Dividing by 8. I get that x equals, put it over here, x equals -1. So my answer is -1, comma, -8. Okay. Number 4, we have to notice something here. We don't have any zero pairs, but also notice that the variables are lined up. We have x on top of x, y on top of y, number on top of number. Okay, our constants are lined up, everything. So we are going to look for a zero pair, and I don't see one at this stage. So let's multiply the top one times 1 and the bottom one by 4. That'll give me a -4x and a 4x. That's a zero pair. Let's see, that'll be equals -9y plus 9. 1 doesn't change anything. 4x, now we have 12y. That's -24. All right. So let's see what else we can work with. We have a zero pair. Add those together. That's 0. It's a zero pair, obviously. Equals 3y minus 15. All right, so let's add 15 to both sides. That'll give us 3y equals 15. Dividing by 3, we get that y equals 5. Y is 5, so our solution is something, comma 5. Now let's go back to the original equation. I'm going to use -4x equals -9y. -9 times 5 plus 9. Right, now in my calculator, that is -45 plus 9, that's -36. Dividing by -4, we get that x equals 9, and our answer is 9, comma 5. Okay, number 5. All right, I don't see a zero pair. Let's multiply by 2 and 7. All right, now this is going to be a problem because we're going to get 2 times -7, that's -14x, and -14x. That's not a zero pair. So I'm going to go ahead and make this one a negative. That way we have positive 14 and negative 14. All right, so doing that, we get 14x minus 2y plus 38. And there should be an equal sign in here somewhere that I missed. All right, equals 38. On the bottom, we have negative 14x plus 21y equals negative 133. Okay, adding these two together, we get a zero pair, we get 19y, and we have negative 95. All right, dividing by negative 19, or by positive 19, rather, we get y equals negative 5. So if y is negative 5, then we'll go back to our original equation. We have negative 7x plus y. That's our negative 5 there, equals negative 19. To solve it, we'll add 5 to both sides. The opposite there. That is negative 7x equals negative 14. Dividing by negative 7, we find that x equals positive 2. So our answer is 2 comma negative 5. Number 6, our variables are lined up. We have our y's lined up, our x's, and our constants. All right. So now, if I go with my previous method, I would multiply the top by 14, the bottom by 7. I actually don't think that'd be a great idea, because here we could just multiply the top one by negative 2. That would give us a positive 14 to go with the negative 14. So we're going to go and do that. That'll be 14y equals negative 2x minus 28. And on the bottom we'll have, well, the exact same equation. Negative 14y equals 4x plus 28. You go to add these together, 0 pair. Let's do that. 0 pair. We have a 0 pair over here as well. So this side's going to have something. So we'll put 0. That's 2x. And that's 0. So we can solve for x by dividing by 2. So that x equals 0. All right, x is 0. 0 comma something. Take that, plug it back into the original equation. Negative 7y equals, well, x is 0 plus 14, so that's going to end up being 14. Dividing by negative 7, y equals negative 2. So therefore our answer is 0 comma negative 2. Now I haven't really checked a whole bunch of these, but I still would recommend that you do that, because there's no excuse to not know you got it right. All right, number 7. All right, for my 0 pair, I'm going to multiply the top one by 2. But wait, then I'd have 2x there. That'd be great. How about I just do negative 2? That'd give me a negative 2x. All right, so let's see, that's going to be negative 2x minus 2y equals positive 16. And 2x plus 2y equals negative 16. Add those together. We have 0 pair, 0 pair, and 0 pair. Strange, right? We get 0 equals 0. Now wait a second, we've had this happen before. 0 equals 0 is always true, right? It's always true, it's always the same. That actually means these two equations are the same equation, they just look different. Now if you remember before, when we have the same equation, that is infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. If, however, this was a false statement, if it were a false statement, then we would now have no solution. All right, let's try number 8. That one went by fairly quickly. Let's multiply the top one by, you know what, again, these are so close. Why don't we just make that multiply by a negative 1? Then there'll be a 0 pair. That would be negative 5y equals negative 2x plus 9. All right, and then the bottom we have 5y equals 2x minus 3. Adding those together, we get 0 pair, 0 pair, and that's going to be positive 6. So we get 0 equals 6. That is a false statement. And I just believe I just said that means we have no solution. Those two lines are parallel, actually. If you remember the graphing day, that really means those two lines are parallel. All right, number 9. Write a system of linear equations and solve the following word problems by elimination. All right, the first bit we have the difference of two numbers is 21. Difference of two numbers. Difference means subtraction. So that means if we have two numbers, x and y, x minus y equals 21. All Separately, the sum of these numbers is 115, which means x plus y equals 115. Now this is a great setup for elimination because we already have a zero pair. The y's cancel out. Alright, so if we add those together, then we get 2x equals, I think that's 136. 136 dividing by 2, we find that x equals 68. Great, x is 68. Now let's go back to one of our equations here. So how about x plus y? X plus y equals 68, but instead of x, we're going to put 68. So we'll subtract 68 from both sides. Ha! I made a really strange mistake there. Not that one, that was weirder. Alright, change that to be 115, and then perhaps that'll actually make some sense. Okay, we're subtracting 68 from both sides, which means that y equals 115 minus 68, 47. So our solution is x is 68, y is 47. This is one of those that you might want to pause, go back a little bit, watch it again after you've written it down, because this is the kind of problem that's going to show up a lot. All right, number 10. You got to make sure you understand them, right? That's the whole point. Two groups of students ordered burritos and tacos at a local restaurant. One order of 3 burritos and 4 tacos cost $11.33. The other order of 9 burritos and 5 tacos cost $23.56. Find the cost of a burrito and the cost of a taco. Alright, so first we need some variables. I'm going to use T for tacos and B for burritos. Right, now the first order that we have is 3 burritos and 4 tacos. And that totals $11.33. Now for our second equation, we have to notice that we have an order of 9 burritos and 5 tacos. 9 burritos, 5 tacos cost $23.56. So we have here 9b, because that's the variable we're using for burritos, plus 5t equals 23.56. Okay, now we want a zero pair. That would be perfect if we did. There isn't one, obviously, so we have to make one. We are going to multiply this top equation by 9. I'm just going to swap these numbers. And the bottom equation, I'm going to multiply that by 3. That won't quite work, because then we'll have a positive 27 and a positive 27. We want it to cancel out, so we need one of these to be negative. I'm going to go ahead and use the top one. Make it negative 9 right there. So that will create a set of equations. We get negative 27b minus 36t equals 11.33 times negative 9, negative 101.97. Okay, just give us some space there. All right, and that second equation, we're going to get 27b, which will be a zero pair, plus 15t equals 23.56 times 3, 70.68. All right, so adding these two together, we have our zero pair right there. Zero pair. That's going to have, let's see, negative 36 plus 15 will be negative 21t. And negative 101.97 plus 70.68 will give us negative 31.29. Dividing by negative 21. Okay, we get 1.49, which means the cost for a taco is $1.49. Moving back over here, $1.49 per taco. Now let's go back to our original equation, 3b plus 4 times $1.49 equals $11.33. So 4 times $1.49 is $5.96. Okay, $11.33, and we bring down 3b. Subtracting $5.96 from $11.33, we get $5.37. And then dividing by 3, we get that b equals 1.79, which means the cost per burrito is $1.79. And there we have it. All right, last question, number 11. Suppose the band sells cans of popcorn for $5 per can and cans of mixed nuts for $8 per can. The band sells a total of 240 cans and receives a total of $1,614. Find the number of cans of popcorn and the number of cans of mixed nuts sold. I'm going to use P for popcorn and M for mixed nuts. All right, so we know that, well, popcorn is $5 per can, so that's 5P. And mixed nuts is $8 per can, so 8M. And they make a total of $1,614. Now, this statement right here, that there is a total of 240 cans sold, it says that if we put P plus M together, we get 240. All right, next we really want a zero pair. That's what we always want. So the easiest way to get a zero pair is going to be to multiply this bottom equation times -5, because then we'll have 5P and a -5P. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. That gives us a new set of equations. 5P plus 8M equals 1614. And in our second equation, -5P minus 5M equals -1200. All right, so now we can add those two together. Zero pair. Right here with the P's, we get 3M. And then if we add 1614 minus 1200, we get 414. All right, now dividing by 3. Dividing by 3, we get 138. M equals 138. So there are 138 cans of mixed nuts that are sold. Now, to find out the number of cans of popcorn, we go back to one of our original equations. This is the easiest one to work with, actually. Popcorn plus mixed nuts equals 240. Instead of M, we will put 138. And we'll subtract 138 from both sides there. And that will tell us that the number of cans of popcorn is 102. So 102 cans of popcorn and 138 cans of mixed nuts were sold. All right, that brings us to the end of these notes. Remember, you want a zero pair. No matter what you have to do to get one, get a zero pair.